guys, it's Halloween and I'm super excited about it, but I'm also, like I said last week, kind of losing my mind. But we're okay. We're okay. So this week has just been kind of insane. We threw a Halloween party on Friday and it was a lot of fun, but there was a lot of last minute prepping to do, last minute cooking, and I kind of spaced doing our costumes, so I had to finish them that morning, and it's just been insane. But it's good. It's good. The reason I'm not in my costume is because this video involves some clothing and face changes, and you'll understand that later. Since it's Halloween, I thought I would tell you guys a scary story about something that actually happened to me. And I don't want to make it sound too overly dramatic, but it was really creepy and inappropriate. I don't know how dangerous it actually was, but it was creepy, it was inappropriate, and it's a memory that I will have forever of doing something extremely stupid. So Mom, Dad, if you ever see this, I'm sorry, I was stupid and dumb in this moment, and you will understand why in a second. So when I have to give you like a little bit of a backstory because I just do. When I was 14, I loved MySpace. Yes, back in the days of MySpace. I was 14, I'm old. I'm turning 23 this year, but I feel like I'm like 40 sometimes. So our family computer was really old. I think the one we had at that point in my life was from like 1989 or like 1993 or something. Like, it was old and it had dial-up. And for those of you that don't know, dial-up is where the internet is actually connected to your phone line. So it essentially has to make a call to connect to the internet. So once the internet's up, you can't make any more phone calls. It makes this really creepy sound, like it goes and then it goes, "You've got mail." Like, that's what I had to deal with. And because MySpace was so new, it just really didn't work. Like, if I wanted to send a message, it always had to be a new message, and it was just really complicated. So I spent my summer days hanging out at the library, but I did read. I loved to read, so I would spend, a good several hours reading, and then I would go on MySpace, on YouTube, on the free computers there, and just kind of hang out there. Better than doing drugs and partying, I guess, right? But just because I was in a safer place does not mean weird things don't happen. So this is the story of my library stalker. So one day in particular, I remember I was at the library. I think at this point I decided to go ahead and read a book, and I had decided I had to go to the bathroom. So I get up and I walk into the bathroom, I do my thing in there, and I wash my hands, and I come out. Now, the way that the bathrooms are positioned in the library that I was at was a man going into the men's restroom would have to pass the door to the women's restroom because it just came after. And so I was walking out, and this guy, we will call him Frankie, was walking in, and I just saw him like look at me as I'm walking, and I'm just like, okay, whatever. And so I go and I sit back down in the young adult area, which was just where like all of the books like Twilight and I read a lot of Fear Street back then, but people probably don't know what that is, but it was by R.L. Stein. Good books, good books. R.L. Stein, shout out to you if you ever see this. Probably not, but whatever. But yeah, so I would sit there and I would read, and they had pretty semi-comfortable chairs. It was good enough to read for a couple hours, and then he comes into the room, and this conversation happens.
Hey, can I ask you a question?
Sure, I guess.
Do you like my shoes?
Your shoes? Do I like your shoes? They're okay, I guess.
I got them at Savers.
He literally tells me that he got his shoes, these weird shoes. They weren't that, I wasn't trying to be mean in the moment, but they were some weird shoes. Like, they were dress shoes with a square. It looked like something Frankenstein would wear, which is very appropriate for this time of year. I almost wore a Frankenstein shirt today, but it didn't look good on me, so I didn't wear it. But anyway, so this guy asks me what I think about his shoes, and I'm just like trying not to be rude, but I'm really weirded out at the same time. Like, I don't even know you. Why are you asking me my opinion on your shoes? Well, then the next conversation we have goes a little bit something like this.
So, what's your name?
It's Monica.
Oh, Marna? Oh, Marna?
No, Monica.
So, Marna.
No, Mon-I-Ca.
So, Marna.
This guy literally didn't know my name for the first half hour of us knowing each other. And then he continues to just talk to me, and I'm sitting there kind of thinking like, dude, I just wanted to read.
So I gotta tell you this story. So this one time, I had this girl, she was my partner, and she was sleeping in my bed, right? Well, I get night terrors. So I wake up in the middle of the night, just scream at the top of my lungs, and this poor girl wakes up and runs away. And let's just say I never saw her again. She never was my partner again.
I'm 14 years old. I've never kissed a boy. I don't think about these things. And he literally just said this to me. Well, the conversation goes on for a little while, and he says a bunch of his friends are going to the river the next day. Do I want to come? And I'm just like, maybe. So he adds me on MySpace, this Frankie kid. He adds me on MySpace. And then he says, well, I have to get going. Do you want to walk me to my car? Guys, this is when I did literally the dumbest thing that I have ever done. Do not ever do this. I am so extremely lucky to be here right now because this was so stupid and so dangerous. Again, Mom, Dad, I am so sorry. I say, sure, I'll walk you to your car. And so we walk out to the car, which is this big Jeep. And this guy picks me up and spins me around. And in, like, my world went into slow motion because I'm literally thinking, this guy's going to throw me into his car. This guy's going to throw me in his Jeep. I'm going to be kidnapped. I'm going to wake up in another country. I'm going to be dead in a ditch. And I'm thinking, I'm never going to see my family again. I'm never going to see anybody again. And then he puts me down, and he gets into his car, and he leaves. I was so lucky, guys. I was so lucky. I just can't even believe that I did something that stupid, that was so dangerous and so risky. If you guys were curious, he did add me on MySpace, and the next day I think invited me out to go to the river with him and some friends, and I just said that my dad said I couldn't hang out with people that he didn't know or something to that effect. Scraps is chewing something up. I'm sorry. I can't anymore. But then I never told my dad about it, and I'm sorry, Dad. I'm so sorry. I just want to disclose my parents did teach me not to talk to strangers. I was just dumb in this moment. Ultimately, the moral of the story is I was so lucky, but someone else could have done the same thing, made the same mistake as me, and got thrown into that Jeep and driven away and could have never come home. And that is the harsh reality of the world that we live in. You know, I'm not trying to bring a damper on things, but just remember, no matter who you are, how old you are, if somebody is making you uncomfortable, it is okay to say, leave me alone. If they are a normal person and they think you're being rude, it's not worth your safety to worry about that. I'm not saying always be rude, but just be on guard. If someone's making you uncomfortable, just don't be afraid to tell them, leave me alone. Okay, guys, thanks so much for watching. Be safe tonight as you go out trick-or-treating, or if you're watching this tomorrow, I hope you were safe last night. Scraps is barking at the neighbor dogs. Stay tuned. I'm just going to show you guys a little bit of footage of all the decorations in our house, and then I'll attach some pictures of all of our costumes for you guys to see. Thank you guys so much for watching. I cannot wait to see you next week. Next week's going to be a super important video, so please watch. Go ahead and you can follow Scraps on Instagram at ScrapItApple, and you can check out my blog. She's got a bird on her back. I actually just posted a new blog post, so go check it out. All right, bye. So that's my dining room and kind of living room. We've got a lot of spider web, a little cute banner of some ghosties, and some zombie gauze on the couch. And then just some more spider web with a ghosty cut in it. And then when you go outside, you can see the zombie pumpkins. Kind of. I didn't do a very good job with that. Sorry, guys. And then, yeah, just a banner on the inside, some more webs. I'll post a picture of those pumpkins for you guys on here as well. There's a cute little pumpkin with a cat and then another cat. Thanks again, guys, so much for watching. I will see you guys next week. Bye!